In this video, we're going to see how to connect to the database for our site and be able to run MySQL queries manually. This is useful when you're testing because you actually want to look at what's being written to the DB. So the local by Flywheel has its own way of accessing the database, but we're also going to see how to use MySQL Workbench. I'm a fan of Workbench. You can also use MySQL Pro if you're on a Mac, but Workbench is on Windows as well as Mac. So, and I like to use Workbench. So my tutorial is going to be on Workbench. But if you are a fan of SQL Pro, and go ahead and feel free to use it. All right. So let's go to the local site. I have the site open. I have another one I call the test is running, but the one we've been following is my store. It's running here. So let's click on the database tab. It shows us, well, it's localhost obviously, and there's a socket here. We're going to need that later on when we're using MySQL Workbench, but let's just use a built-in one. So open adminer, and it opens it in a browser, which it did in my other window. Let me expand that. Here we go. Basically, we have access to the database. These are all the tables. As you know, WordPress appends WP to all of the tables. And usually when you set up WordPress, you can configure that. Here we could have, but we left everything default. So all the tables are WP. And I don't use this tool very much, but as you can see, all the tables are here. And you got some pre-populated queries for you that actually run. So explore this if you like. But for me, I use Workbench for everything, even my job, of all my projects, all database access I need. I use Workbench, so I'm going to show you how to connect in Workbench. So let's open up Workbench, MySQL Work. So if you don't have Workbench, and go ahead and download it. Just Google MySQL Workbench and just download the latest one. It is free, so make sure you don't pay anything for it. It's from Oracle. I think everybody should have it. If you don't have this, at least SQL Pro if you're on a Mac. But if you're not on a Mac, MySQL Workbench is both for Windows and Mac. And any programmer, any QA automation engineer should have it. I mean, you always need to work with databases, and MySQL Workbench is one of the popular ones, and it's really good. I really like it. It does crash. It used to crash a lot, but whenever it crashes, it saves everything. Not a good excuse, but it does save everything. So I was okay with it, but these days it doesn't crash a lot. All right, so this is Workbench. We're just going to start by creating a new connection. So hit the plus button, give your connection a name. It can be anything. I'm just going to call it my store .local, or I'm just going to call it my store. So if we go back to Flywheel, this has a socket. So we're going to use a different type of connection. Just copy this whole thing. All right. So on the type of connection, it's not TCP/IP. We're going to use as a local one, so local socket, and then all the fields change. So this is where we're going to put the path. All right. The password and the username, it's all given to us here. Username is root, password is root. So this is root. Click on test connection and type in root. And click on save password in keychain. Otherwise, you're going to have to be typing the password every single time. So you don't want to do that. Click on OK. If the connection is successful, you get this message that says successfully made the MySQL connection. All right. So now we are connected. Just click on OK. Now here you have your connection. Now I have a bunch of other ones and I grouped them, but if it's your first connection, this will be the only thing here. So now you can click it, and there you go. You have a connection. Let me expand this. If you go to schemas and local tables, these are all the tables. This is going to match what you saw here. Not here, one. These are all the tables here. Those are basically the same tables. In the upcoming videos, we're going to see some of the tables, like what they do. Like for example, posts. Everything in WordPress is a post, so all the products are going to be here, or our users are going to be here, and we're going to dive a little bit more into that. All right. So now we just created a connection to our MySQL to our site's backend database using MySQL Workbench.